In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do product photography. Now, you will notice today that I am somewhat outdoors. I'm in the carport, and that's because I want a particular type of lighting, but we'll get into that in a little while. Now, when it comes to product photography, first and foremost, you have to remember that the product must take prominence. You want to make sure that no matter what you do with that photo, that you are not distracting the viewer's attention from that product. And we also want to make sure that the product is accurately represented. So when thinking about those things, you want to think about background. So I have a little bit of a set up right here. It is just a sheet of paper taped to the wall. Now that works for small products. Now if it was something larger, you could use something like this poster board that you can get for a couple of bucks at the store. Now, if you don't have poster board, you could also use an old poster. Just flip the poster over. As long as the background isn't too dark or distracting, flipped over, it will work for you as well. But you want to make sure that whatever background you use, that there are not creases or wrinkles, and that it is not colored, because you don't want to take away from the product. So using something like a white sheet of paper or a black sheet of paper or something like gray works really, really well. Just make sure that there's not a lot of texture to that background. So that will help us draw our attention to the product and not distract, and also not bring the colors in that would inaccurately represent the color of the product. So that's first, is the background. The other thing you want to think about for product photography is the view. When it comes to view, if you were only given one view to represent a product, you want to make sure that you represent as many of the sides as possible. So here, you wouldn't want to do just a front view or just a top view or a side view. You want to do a 3/4 view, because that is going to give you a front, a side, and the top. So 3/4 view works really well for product photography. The other thing that you want to think about is the lighting. So right now I'm outside, and I have indirect lighting by being in the carport. Now you don't need to go into the shade outside to do this. You could also do this indoors next to a window with window light, as long as it is not direct light, because we don't want harsh lighting for product photography. Most of the time we want really, really soft lighting. So being in the carport works kind of well for this. The other thing you could use is indoor fluorescent lighting, or even incandescent light, as long as it is well diffused. And the other thing that we want to think about when it comes to lighting is to not use that pop-up flash. That is going to give us harsh front lighting and really bad reflections and possibly some horrid shadows. So we don't want to use that pop-up flash. And the other thing we want to think about when it comes to product prominence is you really need to fill the frame with the product. That's why a lot of the times you want to avoid a wide-angle lens for product photography, because the wide-angle lens is not only going to introduce distortion, it is going to make that product seem really small. So generally you want to use a longer focal length lens, but if you're using a kit lens, somewhere between the 35 and the 55 works well. You want to just make sure that you can get accurate focus. Now when it comes to focus and your lens, you want to use a relatively small aperture so that as much of that product can be in as focus as possible. So those are the tips, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two photos. One, I'm going to make a photo that's going to be bad on purpose. So let's say I were going to be selling this lock, this antique lock, and one really bad way to do it would be to just take it and photograph it on the carpet. So I got this piece of carpet here, and I'm going to purposely put it right there in the center, and I'm going to make sure my camera is in all auto, and I'm going to photograph this with a wide-angle lens. And that looks pretty bad, but I'm going to make it even worse. I'm going to try and pop up that flash. So I can do one more, make it even worse. And I'm going to upload that. So that would be a bad example. by using the carpet, and which is a distracting background and texture and all auto settings and the flash. So that's not what we want to do. We want that product to have prominence. So I'm going to get this out of the way and set up here. And I'm going to take this product and I'm going to place it on the background, and I'm going to give it a 3/4 views. I've also taken the key out because I think that is an interesting key, and I want to make sure that that is seen in the picture. And maybe I'll just lean it up like that. I'm trying to be careful that I don't have too deep of a frame, otherwise that might throw off the depth of field that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and set my exposure. I have it in manual. I've punched up my ISO some because I want to get a lot of depth of field, so I think at about f13 should be pretty good. And I'm going to, of course, take a meter reading and kind of get a better idea, but I'm also going to make sure that it is well framed, and since this is more vertical than horizontal, I will frame this up vertically. Now I took a few photos because I wanted to make sure that I had accurate focus. And yes, I think that's a much better image. But again, I'm trying to fill the frame, and if I need to do a little bit of cropping afterward, that would be fine. But my final photo was at 1/60th of a second and ISO of 800, f13. Now your settings would definitely be different depending upon the light that you have. But that is product photography.